Oh, yes.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we're taking a look at what I believe is a Target exclusive. It's a Master of the Universe Origins Battlefield Warrior set. This set includes read echoes of the currently available Battle Armor He-Man, as well as the Battle Cat toy from the first wave. Both of these two seem to have been recolored. Specifically, the He-Man has a much shinier battle armor than the standard release. And then Battle Cat, it's the same Battle Cat from Wave 1, but with like painted on cuts and blood and stuff. So a little violent, a little gory there. It's interesting. And then furthermore, they also come with these little gargoyles from Castle Grayskull and this little display piece here, which, judging by the connection points, must connect to the Castle Grayskull playset. So that is really neat. So if you see my He-Man reviews before you know this goes, we're going to take a look at the toy's packaging, then we'll open it up. We'll see the figures themselves, play around with them, check out Posability, have them interact. I'll be doing some group shots and comparisons today, and then at the end of the video, I'll give my final thoughts. So this toy comes in very, very large packaging, largest I've seen so far. Well, I'm sure Grayskull is much bigger, but you know what I mean. And you just get a big window so you can see the toys themselves, Battle Cat, He-Man, extra accessories, you get gargoyles, a little display stand, and you get this nice artwork of the two across the top. Just battling at Grayskull. You even get a little gargoyle running around. You get the sorceress here in the background, which is cool. The flavor text says includes display stand and Castle Grayskull gargoyles, like we already mentioned. And the side, it's got another shot of another gargoyle running around, so that's neat. And spin this around. We get some super cool artwork here. Look what we get. So, let's see. We get He-Man and Battle Cat riding together. You got Man-at-Arms. I think that's some variation of Teela, like some new armor. I think so. You get Faker over here, like the He-Man clone, riding his mechanical beast. You get Skeletor riding Panther. You get, I can't remember the name of the two-headed guy, or this dude. It'll come back to me eventually. Your flavor text up here says, individually they are a force to be reckoned with, but together in combat, He-Man and Battle Cat are unstoppable. Very cool. Here, it shows you how to do the whole changing battle damage on He-Man's chest. This tells you how to pose Battle Cat on the display stand. And it mentions the synergy with the Castle Grayskull set, where you can attach the gargoyles to it. It doesn't call out attaching the display stand to the gargoyles, but I'm sure you can, based on those connection points. And then across cells, you see Grayskull itself, which is just super cool, man. Like, that's really neat. Now we get some more cross cells. There's He-Man himself, just the regular version. You get the updated Beast Man. You get regular Skeletor, you get Stinkor, you get Webstor, and you get Eternian Goddess, which is just a green Teela read echoes. That's interesting. And then you also get another vehicle, the Wind Raider, which is an assault lander, and I think it's for the good guys, pretty sure. So overall, very impressive looking. I love the mural, like the artwork on these is just fantastic. I really dig these. I like that they don't skimp when it comes to showing you what else is available. They show you how to, work these things. Really great marketing. Like they're really killing it with this. Let's see, on this side, get a shot of his frog dude. I don't know who that is. Again, not on the same level of lore knowledge with MOTU as I am with Transformers. I'm sure he's somebody. So this is really, really cool looking set. Now let's go ahead and open it up and play around. Okay, now we get to see our figures out of the packaging. So we get our He-Man, our Battle Cat, additional head, additional hand, our two gargoyles, and the base here, which came as two separate pieces, but now you can see has been placed together to form one complete base. And I gotta say, I don't see anywhere that this can supposedly connect to Castle Grayskull, but we'll, figure that out once we pull out the castle and, see what we can do. So our He-Man, as I said, is, your Battle Armor He-Man with a special chromed chest. He's also got these red cut markings, two on his leg, one on his arm, and then one on this face. Now this head is your standard, vintage sculpt head. It came with the standard, Battle Armor He-Man. And it's pretty cool looking. Got that extra scar on there. Or you can pop it off. Go ahead and place alternate head-on, which is similar to the vintage one, done the same style, but just a little more animated, right? His hair is kind of blowing in the wind like he's running into battle or something, and he's kind of got a nice battle shout going on. You can see his sword is very well done. Seems to be a slightly lighter shade. Oop, that just reset on me. Slightly lighter shade than the normal sword. Kind of more pearlescent, but still pretty nice. You got his battle axe, which also seems to be a bit shiny, so that might be something that's done specifically for this release to go with the shininess on the chest. And he's got his shield, which is pretty nice. It seems to just basically be the standard He-Man shield, though again, much lighter in color, very pretty looking. Now, he comes packaged with two like weapon holding hands. And the weapon holding hand can work for the shield, though you typically would use the open hand for that. Either one will suffice. And then we can go ahead and have him dual wield his axe. And then, yeah, you can get him like a real berserker kind of stance here. Looking pretty cool. And you do just get a lot of fun options with this He-Man release. Then, of course, we can look at our little gargoyles here. And they're more or less the same, just one has wings and one has ridges on the back. One has a single horn and one has two. And then this seems to be pretty much it for differences. They can just kind of crawl on all fours like this. Look like they're taking a step forward, but then they also have these specially made like grasping hands here where they're supposed to be able to cling to the top of Castle Grayskull. So we'll get a chance to check that out. Here's a close-up of the base. It's mostly the same greenish blue color of the greater Castle Grayskull, and it's got this white like flecking in it to make it look like an actual rock formation. And then of course our Battle Cat. Same molding as your standard Battle Cat. He just has these little cut paint applications on him like He-Man does. Some on this side, some on that side. The face, I believe, is unchanged. Yeah, still the same old face. And then his armor is a shinier plastic than your standard edition Battle Cat. So much like He-Man, he's just kind of a flashier, more special edition looking version of the original. Yeah, of course, we gotta look at He-Man's little gimmick here. Works the same way as the standard one. You just push in, switches to 1/, pushing again, switches to 2. So, yeah, everything's intact. They're the same toys that come from Wave 1 and 3, respectively, just with some more premium paint work and, you know, some chroming here and there. They get a cool base, and they get 2 gargoyles. So, overall, it seems to be a very nice little set. Now, here is a group shot with our standard He-Man, specifically the vintage head version, our standard Battle Cat, and our standard Battle Armor He-Man. And we need all 3 of these guys out to really get a full comparison, because this whole thing is such a, you know, mishmash of different figures and accessories. So primarily, this new set is just recolors of Battle Cat and Battle Armor He-Man, but there are some big differences. He possesses the shield and singular, complete sword of power that this figure comes with. And you can see the color difference, right? His is like a kind of a gunmetal color for his accessories, whereas his are like that nice pearly silver. But then everything else about the toy is the Battle Armor toy, right down to, you know, the default head sculpt. The Battle Cats, again, same sculpting, just shiny armor now, and some battle damage painted on. So there's quite a bit going on here. I will say that I do find myself preferring the trappings of our, you know, fancy little gift set here. Not even so much the battle damage, that to me, I'm just kind of neutral on it. But honestly, that really, really shiny armor just looks fantastic, and the brighter colors on the weapons, plus the shiny armor on Battle Cat, really just makes these two look very, very impressive. It looks like a true upgrade, and not He-Man wearing armor that looks like it's made out of tin or something. So, yeah, I think between these two, this is the superior version. I just like everything he does better. Plus, and I've pointed this out when I did like his review, all that. So he comes with the 2-piece sword, right? Much like the Wave 1 He-Man and Skeletor. But the original Battle Armor He-Man was actually supposed to have a singular piece like this, which is why in my personal collection, I actually swapped the swords for these two. So he gets the right sword for, you know, what toy he's supposed to be referencing, and he gets the right sword for the original He-Man, all that. But as far as how they released, that is a big difference, is they did, you know, change the sword type to give him the one he's supposed to have. Now, whether they did that for accuracy's sake or the fact that they seem to have just kind of moved away from this two-piece design altogether, I couldn't say. But I will say that even though it's cool retaining a classic gimmick, the single-piece swords are just way better. Like, they're more aesthetically pleasing. You don't have to worry about them, you know, splitting apart, falling to pieces, losing half of it. So I do see it as an overall improvement in pretty much every way. Okay, now we get to see our set here next to the Castle Grayskull playset. And you can see that the base is like a dead ringer for the rocky outcrops at the base of the castle here. I mean, like, pretty much the exact same color as far as I can tell. It's all nice and very matte looking. So it matches up very well. Now, of course, sadly, the base here does not directly connect to the castle in any way. It's really just meant to kind of be placed next to it, look like it's part of the same landscape. It's unfortunate that it doesn't interlock in any way, but, you know, it at least gives you the freedom to maneuver it and, you know, face it however you want, I guess. Now, of course, we're all wondering about these guys, the gargoyles. Now, the way they're supposed to work is they're supposed to hang from the top edges of these towers, utilizing this little kind of open hand here. But we're going to see it doesn't really work as well as it should. Go ahead, kind of stretch the fingers over the edge of the tower here, and it causes the gargoyles to want to kind of pop up. Because unfortunately, the opening of their hand really isn't quite wide enough for them to hang down and actually plant their feet on the wall like I thought they would. See, that looks normal, right? It looks like they're actually climbing. But when you actually attach the hands to maintain a grip, they're kind of like sticking off right here. Do you see that? It really does not work as well as it's supposed to. So that's really unfortunate. It kind of reminds me of your monster pit accessory from the Secrets of Grayskull expansion there, where it's a cool concept, but the execution's really not perfect. It's really not great, and really leaves me wanting more. You know, if they had just made their hands, you know, a little bit bigger to where they can swing down more, or just bent the thumbs maybe kind of out to the side or something to where they're not contacting, this would work a lot better. But unfortunately, this is about the best you're going to get right here, where they're not really so much climbing up as they are somehow levitating off the edge of it. So sadly, I think for my display, I'm going to keep these guys down around the base with these two, because it looks silly, and I don't want to kind of force them to try to be in a position that's probably going to bend the plastic over a long period of time. And this completes our look at the new Battlefield Warriors 2-pack. This set to me is a bit of a mixed bag. For what it is, I think it's absolutely wonderful. It's just a very premium looking version of our Battle Armor He-Man and our Battle Cat, with an excellent display base and two very cool gargoyles. You know, if you just look at this as a singular purchase, it's awesome. Like, way better than your standard, like, vintage 2-packs, where it was just, like, your regular, you know, toys, just in 2-packs. They really spruced it up a bit and made everything just that much cooler. Having, you know, the extra shield accessory, the better armor for both characters. Again, the battle damage is just kind of a your mileage may vary on whether or not you like that. But, you know, we do get the alternate head, the nice shinier looking weapons I think is a plus, and then, of course, the addition of the base and the gargoyles. I mean, everything about this is just awesome. Where it fails is it fails at being any sort of an expansion of Castle Grayskull, because the base does not connect to the castle at all, which means you have to have it kind of free-floating and just use your imagination that it's supposed to be in the same place. And then the gargoyles, they do not work as advertised, right? Like, they make it look like their claws are shaped perfectly to just kind of hang off the top of the castle and they'll just stay nice and flush, when in reality they kind of just float off of it because their hands aren't quite the right shape to grip it well, so they don't, you know, just rest with their feet like planted against the wall. They kind of just hang there, and it's really weird looking. So if you're buying this, don't buy it with the expectation of like, oh, this is going to, you know, really spruce up my castle. I mean, it'll still look good posed next to it and everything,
but, you know, it's not going to connect to it physically, and the gargoyles don't really look very good hanging from the castle walls. They're better off just kind of skippering across the ground or something here. So if you can go into this with that expectation of like, all right, well, this is just going to be a cool little gift set that I'm going to enjoy, then I think you'll absolutely love this. If you were really looking forward to that compatibility, which is almost non-existent, you may be very disappointed, and if that's the only reason you're buying this, you could skip it. You could just get the regular Battle Armor He-Man and, you know, Battle Cat and all that. Unless, of course, you really want the base, because the base is awesome. It's a big display base. And I like the way, you know, it comes together to where it just looks very natural, where the seam between the two pieces just looks like a crack in the brick, and really just works out very, very well. Plus, the gargoyles are very cool looking, too. They really just spruce this whole setup. Make it look like something from the package art, which is, you know, awesome, because the package art from MOTU is always awesome. So, overall, I do recommend this. Just don't get your hopes up on the whole Castle Grayskull thing. Just kind of put that out of your mind, and you won't be too disappointed. Of course, that is just how I feel about this set. So now I want to know what you all think of it. Is this something that you're interested in? I know it's a Target exclusive, and during this time frame, probably difficult to get a hold of in the States. But if it is something you can get, do you want it? Is it worth the purchase? Is it worth hunting these guys down? Or do you not want this? Like, you just don't really care for variants, or, you know, the lack of the compatibility really just destroys any reason for you to want this? Any and all feedback is always welcome in the comments section. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to toss it a like. Let YouTube know you want to see more stuff like this. If you do want to see more like this, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you always get a heads up when I post something new. I thank you for joining me for this look at MOTU Origins Battlefield Warriors 2-pack. With all that said, I will see you next time.